The cop needs to see something. Reaching in the car is not an act in and of itself. It's absolutely something to make the police jumpy. Okay, there are a lot of things that make the police jumpy, but they're not allowed to just shoot people because of that. This happens all the time. This is why the cops are the cops. All right. If it's two everyday civilians and they're in an altercation and one person gets jumpy and shoots somebody, you give them a little bit of leeway there, right? They're not trained. They're not professionals. They're not used to dealing with these situations. So you give them a little bit more benefit of the doubt in these cases. But the cops, the entire point of why they exist is to be put into touchy, jumpy, scary situations. That's the entire basis for their existence. They have entire policies around these things. Just because something makes you jumpy or just because something is suspected doesn't mean that you get to use lethal force. They need to see something. They need to articulate something. The shootings that are good are when there is a weapon. There is something that is present that the cop can single out and point their fingers on and say, Jacob Blake had a knife in his hand. It was this. It looked like this. Here's the baggie of the evidence. This is why we pulled the trigger. But if a cop doesn't have that, doesn't have anything to sink their teeth into, they have to straddle that line. This is why people call cops heroes, because they have to straddle that line. It's a scary situation to be in. But they don't just get to default to shooting people or to using lethal force. That's not the default. The default is the other side. The default is not shooting. And part of the default is you may get shot. You may get shot. If he had a gun in there, that's part of the deal. But you are somebody who's highly trained and you've got a lot of experience in these situations. You know what to look for. You know how to handle yourself. You've got 4 cops in the scenario, in the situation with you. It's why you call backup. It's why you have body cameras, which these guys didn't. There's a lot of justifications for how they handle these things, but they got to sink their teeth into something. They can't shoot first and ask questions later. They cannot shoot first and ask questions later. That's why that shooting was unjustified.